What's up guys, JTM Off-Road here. Today's video, we are on the fourth and hopefully final day of the Avalanche lift. So in the last video, we got a lot of the stuff in the front put on and started working on getting the torsion key out and got one of them out. There's the old one. Here are the two new ones from the dealer. Thank goodness to my one buddy who works at a GM dealer in the parts department. He saw the list price is only like $44 each. That's much better than Advanced Auto's price of $280. So he saved me a huge amount of money doing that. So if you guys need to get new torsion keys, just actually get them at the dealer because they're going to be cheaper than anywhere else. At least from what we've found. So we have the one key out. I have to get the other key out. I'm not going to film that just because it takes so long. If you missed my last video, basically I saw some guy just drill 3 holes through the width of this, and then he used a chisel and hammered them out. I don't have a sharp enough chisel, plus I'm just tired by the end of me working on drilling and everything. I just used an air chisel and was able to cut both sides. So one side wasn't enough, it didn't release good enough, so I had to cut both sides. That one's out, got to work on the other one. This is the rest of our parts. Everything else is in. We have to do some more torquing down and everything, but we have the knuckles, the shocks, the spacers, and then the sway bar links. So that's all the new stuff that has to go in. I'm still working on, I have to put the upper control arm on the other side in, and then still have to put the lower control arms in. So we're getting very close. Hopefully this is going to be the last day. So I'm going to get that other key out, and then after that we'll probably just go right into getting everything else put on. Finally, the other one is off. That was the last big thing I needed to do to get all this stuff off. So I'm gonna have to, I think I'm gonna have to clean the ends of the torsion bars up. I don't know if it's gonna help, but I'll put a bunch of anti-seize on them. Hopefully I'll never have to take the new keys off, but hopefully it'll help to, you know, be able to take them off in the future if I have to. But man, feels good to finally have these off. Now I can get going on the rest of the project and hopefully finish this up. Alrighty, I apologize. I've been not videoing as much. I just keep running a snag after snag, and it's just that it's taking a little longer to video, so I haven't been, so I apologize for that. So I'll just try to explain some of this stuff. On the passenger side, the little guide pin, the one that I tried just putting some red Loctite in, yeah, it didn't work. I had to run out, get some like quick steel JB Weld kind of stuff and put that in. It seems to be holding so far. Hopefully that holds. Got the upper control arm in, and then got both lower control arms in, which was kind of a pain. This one went in pretty decent, the other side not so much. So a little bit of pry bar and hammer action, got them both in. So once I got all that in, I was able to torque down all the hardware. And in the midst of everything, after I came back from getting the quick steel stuff, pick up my ratchet, and the little lever on the back broke. Had to run out to Lowe's, stand in line for 20 minutes. Yeah, it's been fun. I finally have the torsion bar in on this side. I'm gonna go over to the next side here in a minute. Trying to make sense. I think this is how it needs to be. I was able to put the torsion bar in the whole way. You have to take it out that way and then bring it back in to go into the cross members. So here's my mark that I made. Down there it twists down, and then up here the torsion key twists up. I think with the way my mark is, whenever I push this key up, this should get it pretty close to this line. So I think that's pretty good ballpark of where it was before. I hope that works. I don't see why it wouldn't. So hopefully that'll work on the other side too. So I'm getting close, just gotta get these torsion keys in. Once we get that, then we can go with the rest of the stuff. And this is all should just be all stuff on the side here. Shouldn't have to crawl underneath the truck anymore. So, all right, let's get back to work. So I apologize, I haven't been videoing very much as I've been doing this, but I got the torsion keys in and have everything pretty much ready to go. So I was able to get the torsion keys to where it was when I got the thing off. The mark on the torsion bar, I think that worked. It seems like it's at the right height it needs to be. So we got the hubs into the new knuckles. In Rough Country's video on the old knuckles, they just take the bolts out and the hub just falls right out. I have never seen that happen. I think that's unheard of. Just must be a Northeast thing. I had to sand down the wheel bearing a little bit around the edges, and I put down a bunch of anti-seize. Hopefully that'll keep it from, you know, ever really galding in there like it normally does, but we'll see. I don't know if it really will. But I got the bolts all torqued down for those. So I have the rest of all the stuff that's from the boxes sitting right there. That's all that needs to go in. So I'm gonna set the camera up and get installing. Alrighty guys, it's now day 6 and hopefully this is finally it. End of day 5 last night. I ended up coming in at like 12. I just kept hitting snag after snag after snag yesterday and it was just not having any luck. Nothing against the lift. It was just things that I was running into and just exhaustion and just wasn't thinking sometimes. And so I do want to go over a couple things. Before that, I did get the drive shaft U-joint changed out. Went a lot easier than I thought it was. Everything fits nice and tight. C-clips went in great, so happy about that. Just have to get this in. Finally torqued down the rear trailing arm, control arm mounts, whatever you want to call them. Got my Haynes manual out, got all the torque specifications for the stock hardware. So that's all torqued down. Only thing left to do is really to put the drive shaft in and bleed these rear brakes. So have to do that. Now up in the front, I don't know if I just didn't do something right. They say just go ahead and clip the ABS wire and put your brake lines in place and everything. Well, that didn't work out so great for me. Everything was super tight. So what I did was there's these little rubber sleeves and I don't know if they're just kind of like glued in place or bonded from the factory or what, or if they just get hot over time and seize up. But the wire doesn't move very smoothly inside of them. So I just used a heat gun to kind of heat up the rubber tubing on the outside just a little bit, just to free that up. So I got these so that these now slide. I had to move this clip down. It doesn't clip up here anymore. I had to zip tie it. I still got to cut that zip tie, but zip tied it down here so it'll keep from rattling. And then I adjusted these so that they actually have some play in them now. Now, granted, this is full droop and is never really going to sit like this. I doubt I'm ever going to have a time when it does this, unless I do some off-roading, which, yeah, that'd be fun. but it's not going to be any like crazy flexing that's going to be happening. There were a couple points that after the fact I decided to put some rubber hose on and put some zip ties, just because I don't want this to rub and eventually break the wire. So I think we're pretty good. This is all the way locked to that side, so this is as tight as this is ever going to get. So I think this should be good. I'll have to keep an eye on it just to see what happens. So same thing for the brake line. There's no like relocation kit or anything, so the hose was super tight, would not move at all. So you know, your factory mount goes here, and then there's this bracket here. I used a pry bar in there and pulled down on that to kind of free that up. You can see the old mark where the rust is, where the brake line used to be, and that's how much it had to move to allow for some flex. Like I said, this is the worst case scenario this is ever going to be. This is all the way down and turned all the way this way. So that's as tight as it's ever going to get. So again, it kind of rubs here, and it kind of rubs on the ball joint a little bit. So I zip tied in a little rubber hose from here to here, just for some extra precaution. We'll see how it works. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it. I didn't see anything, so I just kind of improvised. So same thing on the other side. It might be a little different in some areas, but that's pretty much the same general idea. So one other issue I had, that inner part of the CV axle was extended the whole way out. Thankfully, I saw a video online that sometimes when that comes out, like, chances are you can't get it back in. And happened on the other side, and I was able to get it in, but this side it was too far gone, I couldn't get it. So I actually had to cut the band clamp off, pull it out, and then there's 3 bearings in there. You actually have to like pull them out to get them to fit in. So I should have videoed it, but at the time I was rushing, and you know, just I couldn't justify getting the footage of it. So there's videos of it on YouTube, but I had to run out. That was the only type of clamp I could get. I really hope it holds. It seems like it's on there pretty good right now. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on it. So that was another snag I had to run into. That set me back another hour and a half. So everything's torqued down. Like I said, I just have to go ahead and bleed the brakes, and let's go ahead and put on these wheels. Guys, I'm so excited. This thing's insane. It's so tall. I went around and measured all of the corners, and the back is like around, actually it's all pretty even. It's around 44.5, 44 3/4. So I think it's pretty leveled out, you know, even with the torsion keys and everything. It looks really good. Really good. Rough Country, thank you so much. This thing looks amazing. It took a while. I did a lot more than what was called for, but you know, I had everything off. Might as well take the time to do it, try to make everything look a little better than it, you know, it would have been. But the man, the race lines, I'm so glad I decided to go with the gray instead of the black. It's enough that it stands out, but it's not like black where it just gets hidden. So I'm sure once this gets out of the garage, it'll look a lot better. Unfortunately, I'm a little bummed right now. I still have to adjust the tie rods a little bit in the front, just because, well, the wheel is straight. That's pretty far to the left if you're in the driver's seat. And this one's kicked out this way a little bit. So definitely need to adjust the toe. The camber doesn't look too bad. It definitely needs adjusted. I definitely need to get the adjustment in a little bit, I think. Otherwise this is just gonna be terrible. Or I'll just let it sit and not worry about it until I get the alignment done. I mean, I guess I could try to see how it's gonna be, but I think that's gonna be pretty bad. But this thing is insane. Definitely needed the spacers in the back. It sticks a little further out from the fender flares, so I don't know if I can get some fender flares, like the Bushwhacker ones that stick out a little more. I don't know if that'll cover it or not. So I would like to do that eventually, but they don't stand out too much, I don't think. Again, I can't get over this. This is insane. The thing is so tall. Like, I don't know if this does any justice, but I'm 6'4". That's like not even to the top of the door. So this thing's got to be like at least 7 feet tall. This is crazy. It'll go out the door. It'll go out the garage door. I have 8-foot doors, so thank goodness for that. But oh man, this looks so good. So pumped to have an awesome looking daily driver. This is insane. I'm just so pumped. I can't get over it. So Rough Country, thank you so much. Can't thank you enough. This is awesome. I'm just so excited. So I did get a Bully Dog tuner, so I will be updating the ECM to read the 410s and the 35-inch tires. So that'll be all correct and everything, and then we'll go into it and try to find out a little more about the performance and everything, see how that all works. So look forward to that coming. Guys, I've spent so much time getting this all done. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I don't know. You'll have to keep an eye out in the future. So guys, if this is the first time on the channel, please be sure to subscribe. Go check out the other videos if you haven't seen them already of this whole Avalanche build. I'm going to be, I'll have more on this coming up. Definitely going to clean up the little cladding stuff, try to get that a little bit darker, and possibly remove the door trim. I'm not sure if I care for that too much. So we'll get looking a little cleaner. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. I think that's about it for this video, guys. We'll see you in the next one.